What racing simulator is used for professional driver training? What does a professional simulation centre even look like? And who on earth would risk letting Gamer Muscle use their simulators? That's what we're going to find out in this video as we head over to iZONE Driver Performance, located at Silverstone Racetrack. This video is made possible by Authentic Simulation. For more information, click the link under this video, or even better, check out our video on their Revolution 500 race car that they made for Assetto Corsa, allowing you to drive a race team's race car from the comfort of your own home. Subscribe to unsubscribe, click the like button. Channel members, donors and supporters, it's all your fault.
My name's Matt Cowley and this is iZONE Driver Performance based at Silverstone. So basically what we are here is we're a leading driver training facility. So we train racing drivers to help perform on track and hopefully win races and championships. So I'll give you a quick tour of what we've got here. So first up, we've got our single-seater sim here. So this is the sim that we use for training our F2, F3, F4 and all of the kind of single-seater drivers. So on the computers here, we get all live telemetry, Motec files, everything like that, so we can analyze in depth what our drivers are doing while also seeing live their driving and be able to make changes and judgments on that and help kind of build up their overall technique.
So I've noticed in here you have a is it like an F4 cockpit or
yeah, so it's simulated to be similar to like an F3, F2 cockpit. Obviously it's not a real one because they're quite expensive. So it's just a fiberglass shell made up to look like it so that you get the sense and feeling that you're in the actual car. And also it helps with the vision points because obviously it gets blocked a little bit on the side when you're actually in the car. So it helps with that and learning how much you can see.
I think this is one of the things when you use home cockpits. If you're in just a normal T-slot cockpit, it definitely has a different feel to when you're in an actual Formula cockpit. Just being surrounded and the experience of being in a cockpit.
Yeah, it can be. Some people find it quite claustrophobic in there because it is very tight and your shoulders kind of touch the side. But yeah, if that's what you're wanting to do, then you've got to get used to it and practice being nice and snug in the seat.
Yeah, so and you've got the triple screen solution on here as well, mapped to a curved screen. So the driver, when sat here, they're getting the full vision.
Yeah.
I have just noticed though, this is a Assetto Corsa. It looks like an RSS car as well.
It is.
Okay, so is there a reason that you're using Assetto in particular?
Yeah, so we custom build our cars to each driver based on their kind of feedback and data they get from the team. Because even if we have multiple drivers in the same championship, if they're in different teams, then the cars are always slightly different. So we custom build cars to each driver and we use Assetto Corsa because it allows us to do that. We can go into the game files and change all the stuff within the car, change the power, the grip. We create custom tires to create custom kind of degradation and everything like that so we can train our drivers in the best way.
So this is one of the rooms. I think we've got more.
Yeah,
there's more rooms.
More rooms to go. It keeps going in here.
So sim heaven in here, guys.
Coming up here is our first sim that we ever had. So this is called Sim 1. This is, like I said, it's the first sim we bought. It works for single seaters, but it also works for GT cars. And yeah, it's very similar to Sim 3. We get all the live data, wraparound screen, full HD projectors, everything like that. So a lot of drivers that use this, again, our Porsche drivers, they really like this sim. Something about the steering seems to correlate very well to the way the Porsches handle. So it comes down to driver preference on which sim they would like to use.
I think a lot of people watching this will go, well, why not just use VR for immersion? Yep. So is there a reason particularly why you're using the triple?
Yes, there is. So we primarily focus on vision here. Because within racing, when you're out on track, where you look is where you drive. So the further ahead you look, one, everything happens slower, so you feel more comfortable to then drive faster because self-preservation doesn't kick in. And two, if you look to the right places, such look into the right apex, make sure we're looking far enough around the corner, up to the exit soon enough, we can be a lot more precise with what we do. So the triple screen here, we've got an eye tracker that actually allows us to see where people are looking while driving. So we can make sure they're looking in the right places. And then also with the projectors, it allows us to use a laser pointer to help make corrections to their vision while they're driving. So they have to look at the laser pointer while we shine it at the screen.
They're like a cat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Waving a laser point. Driving's a little bit simple sometimes.
Yeah.
But, so interestingly on this rig, so this is an older simulator platform. Not that necessarily matters. I mean, I think that the bulk of the simulator value is just having a really good quality simulated vehicle, but then also all the like the training resources, data tracking, all the processes you go through.
Yeah.
But interesting with this rig, you know, and I'm sure this is the same with the other rig. You've got this is a Bodner motor, and those of you that are fans of the sim space will remember the Bodners were like actually based in Silverstone. Leo Bodner, they actually did the really early, the first direct drive wheels. I think they were like 7 or 8 grand if you wanted to buy one yourself, but they were literally only really F1 teams and simulation centres had them. So it's really nice to see Bodners still in use. And on the wheel here, actually, you've got the Bodner display. You guys that are old and have been around sim racing for a long time will appreciate the Bodner stuff. It's legendary and obviously still works, so it was a good purchase. Is there anything special with the actual wheel rim on this? Just a standard?
It's just a standard Momo wheel, basically, which Bodnar then put their display on it. We calibrate the buttons on the wheel for each driver as well, so that it simulates what their buttons would do. So that's why the single-seater drivers tend to use the other sim, because it's got the LCD screen, so you can scroll through the screens and see the same stuff that you'd see in your actual car. But again, what we're doing here is more focusing on the driving side. So when drivers start to get a bit picky about that, we tell them to just get on with the driving.
Awesome. And then really nice, I've just noticed you've got the Simucube pedals on here. So you've got the Simucube active pedal on the brake and then a passive throttle pedal. I'd imagine the Simucube pedal, the real advantage is you can obviously change the brake for each car, and then also drivers have their different preferences.
Yeah, exactly. So again, same as the car model, each driver gets their own complete brake profile. We build it in the way they want so that they feel comfortable with the way it feels and it relates to the way their car feels. And yeah, so that's, even though the rig's quite old, what we do is we upgrade the components as the new ones come out, the technology updates, we just update what we've got, but we keep the base rig the same because it still works.
Yes, I think with the brake pedal especially, one of the things is for home users, I mean, you get with the active pedal, you do get the really nice advantage of playing with it. You've got tactile stuff, so it's great fun. But for your driving centres, being able to, I imagine a driver is used to a certain feel, and then you can very quickly just swap it to what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's great for that because they can drive and you can sit on the side of the screen and change it as they drive, so they can feel it in real time. So our drivers absolutely love it. The fact that they can have their own profile that we can just click load on and then it's back there is great. And also the ABS feel on it for our GT drivers, because we run this in all of our sims. So you'll see our GT sim next. They love it because they can alter the ABS feel, so it feels like their actual car, and you can feel then when you're getting into ABS and how much you have to brake just to get to it rather than in it.
Awesome. And then you do have an air bladder system on this, but it's not used anymore.
No, we tend not to use it anymore. It's as I said, this sim's been here for about 13, 14 years, so it's been a long time. So technology's advanced away from the airbag system, and a lot of drivers have kind of said, oh, it's good without it. And again, it doesn't really add too much value to what we are purposely doing here, which is working on core skills of driving. So the airbag system was, back in the day, a bit more of kind of an added bonus, whereas now it's not really relevant to what we do.
Awesome. So this is the second Formula rig, and you've got even more.
We have more. So our kind of next big sim is our GT sim, which I just mentioned. Again, this is for our GT drivers, and the reason we've done this is because, like we were talking about vision, when you are driving a GT car, the difference between a Formula car is the A-pillars get in the way. And when you're driving it on the screen with the A-pillars, they take up a lot more room. And so this way we can block exactly vision points where it would get blocked in real life. Yeah, so basically that's why we built this GT sim, is so that we can practice vision in the right way with the A-pillars blocking the right points. And this sim can also do left or right hand drive, because again, it swaps in between the two depending on what cars you're in. And we've also got a sequential shifter on there as well as paddles. Okay. So we can practice pretty much everything in this sim.
Awesome. And so like, this is obviously a really modest simulator that anyone could have, but this is the sort of big value, I think, of something like iZONE. You obviously have the space to put, not a whole car,
no,
just the front half of a car.
It is actually a real car. This was an old TCR car that got crashed. So we bought it and cut the back end off of it because that was the bit that was crashed.
Parked it on a train line.
Yeah, pretty much, and then turned it into the sim. So it's really good for that because you get the full immersive feel with what's going on. We've got a belt tensioner on this that does both sides as well, so the belt tensioner can work depending on whichever side you're on.
But can both of them be? Can they both go on? It's all on one shaft.
It's one bar, so they both go at the same time. So that even if you've got a passenger doing hot laps in here, you can both get pulled.
That's cool. And then I noticed, so you say the wheel, both sides have got the full thing.
Yeah.
So if it's a left or right hand drive, you can just move the wheel over,
we just take the wheel off. There's a little hook to transfer it over, so that then the same person can walk around, take it off the hook, and
hang on. What would happen? What if you could plug 2 wheels in at the same time? Would that actually work? Could you have both
so it wouldn't work. It's got one cable that just reads. You could technically do the pedals and the wheel at a different time, though. So you could have one person on one side doing the pedals, one person doing the steering.
No, actually, I've driven a go-kart that's set up like that. It's not a good experience, but
no, I imagine it doesn't end well.
So that's awesome. So then, obviously, the guys coming in here are doing GT driving.
This is generally GT stuff, TCR cars, British touring cars, stuff like that. Yeah.
And again, you've got it's Assetto Corsa everywhere.
That tends to be pretty much all we run here. Just again because of the capability of being able to custom make everything to our drivers.
And you find the drivers do come in and they're totally happy with it being AC. They don't come in and say, oh, we want iRacing or we want R Factor or something.
Generally, no. Everyone's pretty happy with, because we custom build everything. Everyone has their own car models and that they like. Some people do prefer iRacing, which we have no problem with. All the sims can run iRacing except this one.
Okay.
Just because of the offset of being sat left or right and drive. So we have no issue with people want to run it. The only thing is obviously with iRacing, you've got to warm up the tyres, you get tyre degradation and everything like that, whereas we can turn all that off on Assetto. So we can really focus on whether it's the driver making the difference and not just heating up the tyres in the right way or something like that. And
then as you obviously then are collecting all the telemetry data from the drivers as they're doing stuff, and you can see on the screens here. And it's the same in all the rooms here. You have the screen set up and you can watch exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So this screen here, that records every lap that they do, lap time wise. This is live data across. So as you're driving, it'll take your best lap as a reference so far in that session, and then it maps your data according to that. This gives us, so if we're wearing heart monitors, we can record breathing rate. We can put a headset on them that records their brain waves, so we can see kind of what areas they're operating in, when they're under more pressure, less pressure, stuff like that. And then this is Motec, which is a data analysis software. So everything that gets recorded on there gets automatically made into a Motec file, so that we can look at it, and then we can also go back 4 or 5 years and then look at if they've been in since then and look at all the data that they've done and compare their progression.
If I'd come in here 15 years ago, you'd have had my data on there, and then I could have come back today and it would have shown like the decline as we've aged, and despite spending more time sim racing, that we've just dropped. But you'd have that on record there.
It all stays there. We don't get rid of any of it.
Hang on, data protection here. It all stays there. They've kept all the drivers, and then you're going to put it into an AI model.
Pretty much, and then create the perfect driver.
Perfect driver, yeah. Are you guys using any AI stuff?
We have started to.
Okay, yeah, so you can't escape it, guys.
You've got to move with it. Yeah. So we're starting to build a training app.
Okay.
For all of our drivers, that's going to start recording basically what this is doing. It's going to do on the app, and then it's going to highlight all the areas for them to focus on briefly for us, and then we can select the specific drills we want them to run based on the areas that the AI's highlighted.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I notice. I think there's a lot of terrible stuff with AI, but one of the things it's really good at is like going through lots of different data or breaking data down. And when you've got a lot of data, simplifying the data. And obviously you've got so much here. Yeah. I think you guys will obviously have trained and specialised in it, but I imagine it's quite hard to work out what is the most relevant data.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have to spend hours with the driver trying to pick out what's the right path to go down after looking at the way they brake, the way they turn, the way they get on power, where the minimum speed position comes, the way they load a car, everything. And we've got to try and pick that out by watching, whereas an AI will be able to take all the data from Motec or whatever.
Okay.
And it will be able to process that and be like, this is the trend. So it saves us hours of watching, and we can set them off on the right path sooner.
What would you say with new drivers is the thing that they tend to struggle with the most?
What we tend to see is, first off, is vision is always very short. So new drivers always tend to look at the start of a corner rather than to the apex of a corner. And that then generally creates an early minimum speed where we get on power slightly early before the apex. And then as you get to the exit, it feels like the car's on the limit and it's struggling to stay on the track. But that's a false limit. So if you actually carried more speed into the corner and you're more patient on power, you would find a good chunk of time through that corner. And that tends to be the general trend of drivers that come here.
Yeah. Also, I think what's quite interesting is like in terms of feel, obviously in a real car, there's a lot of feel for the rotation of the vehicle, especially, but then also just steering column feel. Is there anything that you do specially for setting up with the force feedback?
Yeah, so again, with the force feedback, we tailor it to what the driver says feels good, and we change the steering wheel rotation so each driver gets their own steering wheel rotation profile so that it starts to feel as similar as it can to the real car. Now, obviously, a sim's never exactly the same as a real car, and there are those slight differences. Like with the static sims, as you get a little slide, obviously you don't notice until you get the visual reference that it's starting to slide. So it ends up being a slightly bigger slide than it necessarily would be in real life. But generally, our drivers find it very relatable to the actual car. And if you can drive one of these quick, then chances are you can drive a real car quick.
So I actually think, in my opinion, the weird thing with simulator is having the lack of feel means that when you have the car, then there's an abundance of feel. And so if you can drive a car in a simulator, then you've got even more information in the real car. So you have something that's actually harder in some ways. I don't know if you would agree.
No, I would agree. Like driving a sim, obviously you've got lot less feedback coming to you, and most of your feedback is actually just visual. So if you can do that, then when you get into a real car and you've got all this feedback, plus you've got really good visual feedback from seeing what's going on, then generally you'd be pretty quick in a car.
Awesome. Hang on. I'm really excited for this room, guys. What could this room be? I think, it's a gym. And what is this? No sim racers need to know what this is or see this. Come on.
But yeah, so just at the other end of the gym is our new simulator. So this is the DDX Prime. So this is our full motion simulator. It's snowing for some reason.
That's all right. It's Christmas in.
Yeah, so this is our full motion simulator from DDX Prime. Again, we've just acquired this, but what we found is all the feedback from our drivers is that visual kind of motion of feeling that slide. This reacts so fast that you feel those little slides before they get bigger like they do on a static sim. And also we were able to run sequential H pattern. It's got 3 SimuCube active pedals on it, so we can do clutch, throttle and brake. So yeah, this has got all the bells and whistles on it.
Yeah, so the other rigs you've got here are set up more, you'd just be like for track texture and a little bit of movement, which that's still great. Yeah. But yeah, this with it being, is it hexapod? 6? Yeah. So you've got all the rotation.
Yeah, exactly. And
do you find some drivers actually prefer the more static rigs?
Some drivers do, yeah, it's definitely personal preference, but I mean, speaking for myself, I do prefer this to a static rig, again, because it gives you that feedback a lot sooner than a static rig does. So you're able to cut slides out a lot quicker and you've got more feel of what the car's doing while you're driving.
And and again, you've also got a full-on belt tensioner on it.
Full-on belt tensioner, with 6.5.
Mega belt tensioner on this.
It pulls quite hard if you turn it right up.
Yeah, I really love the belt tensioners. Got one of the cubic system ones at home, and super good for immersion. But I think that's an interesting point. I think with the real drivers, I don't know if it's your experience, but the ones I've seen going into sims, they really struggle with that initial braking in the simulator, because in the car braking is the most obvious. Yeah. So I don't know if you found that when you put them on belt tensioner rigs, they acclimatise quicker?
Yeah, definitely, because it gives you that sensation back of slowing down. So it does actually pull and you kind of get a feel for it a lot quicker. But the really great thing about this sim is, on this LCD screen here, we have the motion, we have the haptics, the belt dynamics, the wind, and it's all customizable as you drive. So it's on a slider.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you can customize it to whatever settings you prefer as you're driving.
That's good.
So if you don't like the motion being really high, you can lower it, same with the haptics and the belt tension and everything like that. So that means that, again, each driver kind of knows what settings are their favorite on here, and then when they hop on, they can just slide it to their favorite settings and they're ready to go.
Nice, and then, as you said, three active pedals.
3 active pedals, oh yeah.
That's cool. So we should look at some of the stuff in the gym. I was joking, but so that's all the simulators here, and you're saying that though the simulators are actually pretty much booked out, especially when it's the season is on for set races.
Yeah, I mean, when the season gets up, we're open 5 days a week, 9 till 5, and we're pretty much flat out all day. All the sims running, 3 coaches flat out all day. yeah, so we're busy bees at the moment.
It's crazy. It's good. It's really nice to see like simulation being used so heavily, and like all the different angles of simulation.
Yeah.
What on earth? Look, this just looks like an absolute pure torture device here.
So this is a techno gym. So quite a few years back, there was a handful of these made, and basically all the F1 teams bought them immediately. And they were only supplied to F1 teams. This was here before I started, so I don't know how we acquired it, but yeah, this is actually quite a rare bit of kit, and it's designed to train specifically for racing. So it's a weighted steering wheel on it, so you can turn left and right. Usually there isn't a screen here, so what you do is you put an onboard on the screen, and then you have to follow the onboard steering with the weighted steering wheel. And then we've also got a helmet that's got a few
that's cool, yeah,
plug-ins on, so that you plug in to the back and sides, and then you, again, adds to the weight so you can train your neck in a safe way.
And you just gradually, you start off with a low amount of weight.
And then just gradually build it up. But again, it's more about kind of not necessarily being able to lift the full stack for like 2 reps, like sometimes you do in the gym. This is generally more for endurance. So you use a lower weight, but do a lot of reps, so that obviously if you're doing kind of a half-an-hour race, then your neck can withstand.
So how long do you think it would take to train a driver's neck strength up from pathetic like mine? Also, I have a fat head as well, which, I mean, if the fatter your head, the more your neck's gonna have to work. But let's say you had a fat head, unfit person like me, and you're like, right, weirdly, someone's offered me a drive in F3 for a year, and I have to then get my fat head, pathetic neck to do F3 racing and survive that. How long do you think that would?
We could do it over a winter.
Over a winter,
yeah,
so okay,
over a winter,
six months.
No, I'd say 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
You get up to exactly where you need it to be, if not slightly ahead.
So like neck muscles are actually, I mean, obviously they're muscles like any muscle, but you can build up that neck strength.
For sure, 100%. And what we tend to say here is we don't train for what we're in now. Because if you're in F4, you don't want to train your muscles to be ready for F4. You want to train them to be ready for F3. So during the F4 season, then it's easy for you. You're not worried about that. And then you're ready if you get a chance to go drive an F3 car or something like that. And if you get that chance, then you're getting your muscles ready for F2 and your endurance and stuff ready for that.
So just out of interest, is it harder to develop muscles for, say, like prolonged corners, like a Spa or even like Silverstone, with an F4, F3, or is it harder to develop the muscles for, like, if you were doing high performance go-karting with all the corners left and right? Which is the... I
mean, generally go-karting's a lot harder than racing cars. It's a lot more physical, a lot more brutal. But it kind of depends on person to person. Some people will be quite happy in a go-kart all day, but they might struggle on longer duration corners. Some people, the complete opposite. So that's part of what we do here, is we custom build tailored programs for each person, depending on the areas that they need to focus on within the gym, so that they're ready for whatever may come their way.
That's awesome. But I imagine drivers really hate using that. Or,
yes,
it's a torture device.
Yeah, pretty much. It's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think working, as you can tell, I'm in the gym a lot. You know, eat my biscuits. But I think doing like basic arm stuff or basic pull-ups and things and squats, I don't think it's too bad. But like working on your neck, I imagine it's just like,
you don't want a sore neck for the next couple of days.
What, is there anything other that's specific?
So this is general kind of weight stuff, and then we do have our cardio wall here.
Okay.
So this is pretty specific to not just driving, but sports.
Is there a reason that there's a suspension on it?
There is. So basically, what this device is it does a few different things. It works one on cardio, hence the name cardio wall. It works on peripheral vision, because you've got to stand in the center and be able to see all of the lights, and it works on your reaction speeds. Now, generally, when you're trying to react fast, you're not going to do a light tap on it. You're going to hit it like that. So hence the suspension. And it does make noises in it as well. But yeah, so it can do things like a bleep test on it, basically, where all of them light up. You've got to clear every light out, and you get less and less time to do it. It's got a mode called Chaser on it, where they'll all light up green, one will light up red, and you've just got to hit the red light, and you can do 1 or 2 minutes of that. And again, that's kind of peripheral vision, reaction speeds, everything like that. So yeah, again, this is a really good bit of equipment for drivers to train on. And the best part is you can split it down the middle and do head to head with your mate if you want. So you can make it into a competition as well.
Yeah, so I think with with a lot of drivers, especially we'll have a lot of younger drivers, I imagine, you need to find ways to keep things engaging, and the competition component makes them push through the sort of tedium of the neck training and the physicality, maybe the physical stuff.
Yeah, so that's another part of what we do here is everything that we do, gym-wise, sim-wise, everything like that. We've actually created some leaderboards for it all. So we've taken specific exercises, specific drills on the sim, and then created leaderboards so that we've made a competition for it all. So it keeps people entertained, it keeps them kind of involved and engaged in what we're doing, while adding a bit of fun to it as well for the younger drivers. Obviously, the older drivers, more experienced drivers, they're quite happy to get on with the boring stuff because they know it's going to benefit them. But again, they take part in it because they enjoy doing the competition.
We basically took up your whole day here. He was doing a quick tour and it's now like 15 years later. But thank you very much for taking us around everything. Don't know what I'm doing with my hand there, guys. But really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I'm looking forward to jumping on some stuff, and it's all going to be broken after we've had a go. But people can just come here effectively, like they can just ring up and book a book to do it. Like, so how does that process work if someone wanted to?
Pretty much, if someone wanted to come here, they can call us or head to our website. We've got an email in there, izonedriverperformance.com. There's an email, phone number. They can email, call up, and then we can organise getting them booked in.
Okay, and that's for full driver training if people are going to be in a team, or if people want to familiarise themselves with high-end race cars, performance cars.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, we cater for anything. We have pretty much every car you can think of on the sim. So anyone that wanted to come in, they can call up, we'll book them in, and then they'll get full-on driver tuition as well as a chance to go on the sims.
Awesome. Well, check that out, guys, if you plan to be an F4 or F1 driver. Right. Thank you very much again.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. Take care. Goodbye.